Almost everyone has heard of Atlantis, a legendary city swallowed whole by the sea. But off the coast of Egypt, divers found something even stranger, a real one. Its name was Thonis-Heracleion, once Egypt's greatest port, lost for over 1,000 years. Ancient legends claimed Helen of Troy once walked its streets before the Trojan War. For centuries, historians debated whether this city even really existed at all. Then, in the year 2000, divers found it, exactly where the legends said it would be. This is the true story of the city that became Egypt's real Atlantis. Long before archaeologists found it, this city only existed in myth and old writing. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote about it around 2,500 years ago. He claimed the hero Herakles first set foot in Egypt at this very city. He also wrote that Helen of Troy stopped here with her lover Paris before the Trojan War began. Centuries later, the geographer Strabo described its exact location near the mouth of the Nile. But over time, the physical city itself completely vanished, leaving only these old stories behind. For nearly 2,000 years, nobody could say for certain that it had ever truly existed. Some scholars even argued Thonis and Heracleion were two separate cities entirely. That single debate would remain unsolved for centuries, until the sea finally gave up its secret. Before it vanished, Thonis-Heracleion was Egypt's largest and most important Mediterranean port. Founded around the 8th century BC, it controlled all Mediterranean trade entering Egypt. Every ship coming from the Greek world had to pass through its busy canals first. At its heart stood the great Temple of Amun, dedicated to Egypt's supreme god. Pharaohs traveled here to receive their divine right to rule, in solemn temple ceremonies. For centuries, this city thrived as a glittering center of religion, trade, and power. Then, in 331 BC, Alexander the Great founded a new city just a few miles away. That new city was Alexandria, and it would slowly eclipse Thonis-Heracleion's importance forever. But Alexandria's rise wasn't what finally destroyed the old port city. Nature was. The city was built on a foundation of soft clay and sand near the Nile's mouth. Over centuries, the sheer weight of massive stone temples pressed down on that unstable ground. Then earthquakes struck, and rising sea levels added even more pressure on the weakened land. Together, these forces triggered something called soil liquefaction, where solid ground behaves like liquid. Entire temples and palaces slid gradually into the sea, swallowed by the ground itself. This wasn't one single catastrophe, but a slow collapse stretched across many centuries. By around the 8th century AD, the entire city had disappeared beneath the Mediterranean. Sediment quickly buried the ruins, ironically protecting them perfectly for the next 1,000 years. For over 1,000 years, this once great city was completely forgotten by the world. In the year 2000, French marine archaeologist Franck Goddio set out to find it. His team, the European Institute for Underwater Archaeology, searched Egypt's Bay of Aboukir. The ruins were buried under meters of thick sediment, completely invisible to normal equipment. So the team used advanced geophysical scanning technology to peer beneath the seafloor itself. And slowly, an entire buried city began to reveal itself, frozen exactly as it fell. It was Thonis-Heracleion, exactly where the ancient legends had always claimed it would be. The myth had just become measurable, physical, real archaeological fact. One discovery finally solved the oldest debate about this city once and for all. Divers found a nearly 2-meter-tall stone slab, still standing exactly where it was placed. It was commissioned by Pharaoh Nectanebo I, over 2,300 years ago. Carved directly onto the stone was the very name of the city, Thonis-Heracleion. This single inscription proved Thonis and Heracleion were never two cities. They were always one. A debate that had puzzled historians for centuries was finally settled by one carved stone. Egyptian name, Greek name, same magnificent city all along. As excavation continued, the seafloor kept revealing treasures beyond anyone's expectations. A massive red granite statue, over 5 meters tall, was carefully lifted from the water. It depicted Hapi, the god of the Nile flood, a symbol of abundance and fertility. No statue of this size had ever before been discovered anywhere in Egypt. Divers also recovered delicate gold jewelry, untouched for over 1,000 years underwater. A lapis lazuli pillar, symbolizing stability, was found remarkably well preserved. Hundreds of ship anchors littered the ancient canals, evidence of centuries of busy trade. More than 60 individual shipwrecks have been found resting within the city's old waterways. Each one froze a small, perfect moment of ancient daily life in place forever. But the most exciting discovery of all came much more recently, and it changed everything. East of the Great Temple of Amun, researchers uncovered an entirely new sacred structure. It was a Greek sanctuary, dedicated to Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. This was proof that Greek people didn't just trade here, they lived and worshipped here too. Egyptian pharaohs had allowed Greek settlers to build their own temple, centuries before Alexandria. Inside the sanctuary, researchers found imported Greek bronze objects and delicate ceramic pieces. They even found Greek weapons, hinting that Greek mercenaries once lived here too. A statue was uncovered that may depict Cleopatra III, ruling centuries after this temple was built. That connection links this sunken city directly to the most famous queen in Egyptian history. Long before Alexandria and Cleopatra, this quieter port city was already blending two great cultures. Thonis-Heracleion wasn't just a myth waiting to be found. It was history's missing bridge. It's worth understanding just how large this ancient port city truly was. At its peak, it likely covered an area larger than several modern city blocks combined. Canals threaded through the entire city, functioning much like ancient streets made of water. Merchants, priests, sailors, and travelers from across the Mediterranean once filled these waterways. Goods like grain, wine, oil, and fine pottery moved constantly through its bustling harbor. This wasn't a minor settlement. It was one of the true economic engines of ancient Egypt. Modern excavation of a site this size requires extraordinary patience and precision. Each artifact must be mapped, photographed, and documented before it's ever moved. Some objects are so fragile that lifting them incorrectly could destroy them instantly. That's why full excavation of a site like this can take decades, not just a single season. In fact, researchers believe only a fraction of the entire city has been explored so far. That means the most exciting discoveries here might still be waiting to be found. Some of the recovered artifacts have since traveled far beyond Egypt's coastline. International exhibitions have displayed treasures from Thonis-Heracleion to millions of visitors worldwide. For many people, it's their first real glimpse of a legend most assumed was pure fiction. Thonis-Heracleion isn't the only sunken city archaeologists have studied in recent years, but few carry the same powerful blend of myth, mystery, and hard scientific proof. That combination is exactly what makes this particular city so endlessly compelling. It proves that legends, even ones dismissed for centuries, can still turn out to be true. Somewhere else in the world, another dismissed legend might be waiting for its own discovery. So is this really Egypt's version of Atlantis? In every way that matters, yes. A legendary city, swallowed by the sea, believed by many to be pure myth. Except this one was real all along, waiting patiently to be rediscovered. Excavations at Thonis-Heracleion are still ongoing, with new discoveries every single season. Every dive brings researchers closer to fully understanding this remarkable lost city. It reminds us that some legends aren't exaggeration. They're simply history waiting to be found. What other legendary places do you think might still be waiting somewhere beneath the waves? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this real-life Atlantis story amazed you, subscribe for more true tales from the ancient past. Thonis-Heracleion, lost for 1,000 years and finally found again exactly where legend said it would be.